Never forget the moment when we were on top of the mountainside and the look on the tour guide's face as he said, "I want to see every inch of this world before it's destroyed." As uncomfortable as that feeling was at first, it really made me figure out, why was my life worth living? I came back a completely different human being. I really wanted to share these 5 big lessons that completely changed my perspective after 3 weeks of traveling. When I got the text from my aunt and she asked me if I wanted to go to Scandinavia to see the Northern Lights right after I put it on my bucket list. It literally felt like a dream come true. It was like the universe just put this in front of me and said, "You need to go." That alone was special, let alone being 3 generations for 3 weeks in 3 different countries. We wanted to make the absolute most out of the time, so we booked as many activities as we could. Our very first day, we were snowshoeing, and it was an all-woman group. There's 2 women from Germany, a woman from France, a woman from the Netherlands, and we ended the day sitting in a teepee roasting sausages. This was the time where everyone could really talk, get to know each other as people, get to know each other's countries, cultures. I was so ready to listen about these people's experiences, what their walks of life were like, what they could be living by that I never even thought of or would have crossed paths with otherwise. And this is where I learned the first big lesson. We are more alike than we are different. As much as I kept trying to find all the differences, we all kept coming back to the same thing. How beautiful the snow was. How lovely it was to have an all-girls day. Like, that was such a little treat. How happy we were to be with our families and have this time away from work and be able to just live and exist as people. We weren't fluent in each other's languages, but we spoke to each other and we heard each other truly. We want the same things. We want love and we want to be loved, and everything roots back to that. When you compare anything, you will find differences. We are so much closer than we think. As humans, we genuinely can come together in a community, not as different countries, not as different states, not as all these different groups that we could put ourselves into, but we are one group, which is human. Here, wanting to be loved. Everyone can come back to that. So the area we were in was called Lapland. This is this really mountainous, snowy region. And in this region, there's a lot of camping. People are in these tents all the time. It's free and it allows people to really connect to nature. It's super cool. And these 2 guys were talking about how amazing that it is that we can do this. And he said the second lesson. So many men think they're above nature. They think that they overcome it. What they forget is that they are nature themselves. We are not mankind in nature. Mankind is nature. It felt so profound and has stuck with me way more than I thought it would at the moment. And think about submerging yourself in the natural environment just charges your human spirit. And modernization is wonderful for so many things. But we also have so many obstacles that seemingly separate us from the natural world and forget where we come from. You're supposed to be in nature. Your body is literally wired to run in the grass and to feel the water and to feel the sunshine. All of the science behind receiving sunlight in your eyes specifically affects your dopamine levels and your energy and your focus. You are wired for success the more time that you spend in nature. We can work along with that and give our body what we need while also figuring out what that means for our day-to-day life and how we want to be comfortable in a modern world. And remember, as much as these amazing material world things are here to elevate our lives and are fun and are enjoyable, they're not what matter. As a human, you just have to sit and enjoy the fruit of your labors. Find the balance of nature within yourself, because you are nature. After all these wonderful conversations at campfires, I came up with the resolution to make as many friends from as many different countries as possible. And that's exactly what I did. I haven't actively tried to make friends since my preschool days. I went with the same exact approach. I went up to people who I thought looked cool and asked them if they wanted to be my friend. It absolutely blew my mind with how easy it was. People can subconsciously feel the energy that you're giving. I don't think I would have been able to have that unless my energy was open and willing to make friends in that moment. As humans, we all desire that need for community. It helped us when we were quite literally fighting the elements of nature. You'll never know the opportunities that you'll create when you just have an open energy. That's why our third lesson is to be open to making as many friends as you can wherever you go. You'll never know where the opportunities will take you. Naturally, I do have to say, be cautious and protect your energy. Being open to having new relationships is a very different thing than just fully giving yourself to every person that you know when you don't know their intentions. Your energy is absolutely precious. Don't be giving it left and right. Test these people. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. Time with you is a gift, and the same for them. Make sure your energies are compatible and make sure this is a relationship that is going to uplift the both of you in a safe, happy way. Be open to receiving positive relationships, but don't assume that everyone is perfect. And as wonderful as it is to find friends in unfamiliar places, there's so much to find in the places that you've already been. That brings us right into our fourth lesson. There is no limit to the things that you can learn in the people that you thought you already knew. Everyone's life is constantly unfolding. You'll never get to that core layer of every single person in front of you. It is quite literally impossible. Life happens really quickly. If you don't ask the questions, you're not going to get the answers. There's no time to mess around. I made sure to ask them all my questions. What I should look for in love, what standards I should hold for myself. Where did the woman in our family fall short? And where could I overcome that gap for myself? How could the generational problems that have plagued the women in my family for years end with me? It was like I was arming myself with their wisdom, and I learned so much. I found out we both like gin martinis, and she used to color pictures for money, and all the different stories of her love lives. The people in your life are used to showing a certain side of themselves. Don't be afraid to really get in there and ask the questions. What motivates them? Why do they get up in the morning? What are their hopes and dreams? What makes them happier than they ever felt? And what brings them to their absolute worst? What do they want to change about the world? And how can you help further their mission? Something shifted here as I asked these questions. And it was like I was no longer trying to run away from the life that she lived and try to protect myself from her mistakes, but realizing that her story is my story too. And then I remember dressing her up to see the lights. I found out she couldn't use her hands as much anymore. She's really bad arthritis, and it kind of makes her hand sort of claw a little bit, and she can't use her fingers as much. Something that unfortunately happens when you get older, but something I didn't really know that she went through. And so I was putting the gloves on her fingers, and it was like I was dressing a little doll. I didn't realize how much that physically was a struggle for her. Later in the night, I was wearing 2 pairs of gloves that were slightly too thick. Oh my God, I was dropping the marshmallows and the sausages, and I just couldn't hold anything or move my hands, and it was the most frustrating thing ever. And I realized that's what she was going through all the time. And all the little things that I didn't think anything of, were so hard for her. When she was using her little walking sticks and she was going up the mountains, people were just walking by us. They just kept going. The tour guides kept having to stop and help her, and made me realize how hard it is to actually be older. And I thought of this again later on my aunt's 60th birthday when she was calling her friend, and she said, 60 is scaring the crap out of me. For her to know that might be in store for her 20 years down the line, it made me acutely aware of all the ways I could explore this earth and live in my body the way that you can't always do forever. I think that 5th lesson is the most important lesson. Savor every moment of your youth that you can. Climb all the trees that you can. Run as fast as you can. Don't throw away your whole day because you feel gross because there's a pimple on your face. Because soon it's going to be covered in wrinkles. And that will bring a beautiful season of lessons and make you see the world in a different way then. But right now is the season of exploration. Don't waste it for silly little problems. Think about your 80-year-old self looking at you right now and thinking about all the things that you can still do. You can still take every day, and it is genuinely your playground. After I realized this, it made me fully soak everything up. I became a sponge for all the lessons I was supposed to learn, all the sights to see, and every single way that life is actually beautiful. I don't care what anyone else says anymore, because this is my experience to explore, and it is as beautiful as I want it to be. And I want to remember things that are beautiful and happy. These are the things that I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to look every sunset as if it was a painting made just for me. I'm going to breathe the air like it is deliciously feeding my mind and soul, and I'm going to feel the sunlight on my skin for as long as I can and soak up all the good that the universe is consistently bringing me. You would be a damn fool to not do that for yourself. I made it a vow then to eat and savor every single bite of the fruit that life had to offer me. I would not ever take for granted my life the way that it is today. Ever. I will not take it for granted. I want to see every inch of this world before it's destroyed. When I first heard those words, my heart was absolutely crushed with the weight of the things I wouldn't be able to control. Things like how other people are treating the earth, things about people in power in the news, ways that other people aren't showing up. I can't control those certain aspects of my life, and sometimes they do manifest as fear. But those words mean so much more than that. It is about truly savoring every experience that this world is laying out for you. There will always be something that is bringing you down, but that is truly a divine lesson in the unfolding of your life. And this is your experience that no one can take away from you. So whatever you do, be present, be grateful. I hope these 5 lessons resonated with you because they really have changed who I am as a human being. If you want to be a part of more of the unfolding, it is my personal mission to find as many more of these lessons and to explore as much of this world as I can, both in my mind, heart, and soul, and also physically. If you want to be a part of that journey, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much and have a great rest of your day. Bye!